a Gemini. And swift receipts that fold to the beat. It's a Gemini.
The seats fold to the beat? What does that mean? They fold 160 times a minute? They're going to wear out real quick. Hi, I'm David M. Green. Join me for more 80s ads and tedious observations on the next VHS Revue, starting now. Hello and welcome to another VHS Revue. Today's tape comes from TV's Stephen Hall of Melbourne. Big fan of his work on Mad as Hell and also his very funny novel Symphony Under Siege there. So earlier this week I thought it'd be great to pre-record an interview with Stephen where he can tell us himself exactly what's on this tape of his, but unfortunately I did forget to invite him. So I guess I'll just have to do everything around here. It's actually got 4 things on it. Firstly is the tape's namesake. It's his high school production of the Gilbert and Sullivan comic opera HMS Pinafore. Now, I'm not really a big musical guy. You want that sort of thing, you can go follow Mark Humphries. But I do like that song, I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General. Very difficult to perform. And I spent a good 10 minutes skipping through the footage on this tape looking for that number before realising it's actually from the Pirates of Penzance. So let's move on, and what better transition than Melbourne's greatest ever station ident from 1986. Oh damn. YouTube informs me this song is still under copyright. May as well tell you about it because I have to talk over the whole thing now. This jingle is called Hello News by American composer Frank Gehry, originally written for Channel 12 in Milwaukee back in 1977. And then used for something like 120 different TV station idents across North and South America and in Australia. Oh look, Rialto still under construction. So yes, it's very good, but if I include it, then I can't monetize the entire video, which I don't think is very fair. I mean, why can't he just take a percentage or something? Anyway, maybe I'll put the unedited version on Twitter, they don't give a shit. Okay, well we can probably hear just catch the end of it. The next program recorded on this tape is a couple of segments from a local morning show called tvED, produced for Channel 7 by the Education Department of Victoria. One familiar face up the back there. Not a lot of info about tvED online, although there is quite a bit about EdTV. Let's have a look.
You may be wondering what's happening behind me at the moment. Well, the tvED crew thought it about time that we included some of the special musical achievements that are happening in Victorian schools as part of our regular program. And today a group from Mcleod High School are going to perform for you. But before they do, we thought you'd like to hear from one of the students, a Year 10 student, Jane Wheatley. Jane, come in and join us. Welcome. Tell us, what are the group doing at the moment?
Well, at the moment they're warming up. Like all instruments, the voices need to be warmed up.
That's incredible.
Is it? There's also this other segment with a guy named Murray Everly talking about fonts and handwriting with what would now likely be considered an inappropriate amount of exposed chest hair.
A lot of street signs and marketing and advertising and other types of things have capital letters in them, and children often come to school being able to recognise those capitals before they recognise lowercase. Also, when children are reading, the individual importance of letters diminishes. For instance, if a word starts with the letter S, there isn't 26 letters that can possibly follow. There's only about 18. Now, if a word begins with ST, there's only about 8 letters that can follow the T.
Good tip for Wordle players there. tvED did occasionally get out of the studio too. Here's a chat they did with a teacher who I assume was a big John Newcombe fan.
We were curious to find out about one school's experiences with the new handwriting, and we visited Toolern Vale Primary School, which is near Melton. And the head teacher is Gary Griffin.
year, as I was new to the school, and so were all the teachers, as a matter of fact, we introduced process writing to the children, or story writing as they like to call it. At the beginning of the year there were a few hiccups, I suppose, because the teachers were a little unfamiliar with it. They were inexperienced teachers, and so were the children, but basically it was up to themselves to read the book.
That is one mighty Mo.
Impressive. Very nice.
I half expected him to start breathalyzing those kids, although not everyone's a fan.
When I came to Toolern Vale, I met all these new ideas, and Gary Griffin was here, and he was very trendy, not trendy, but up with the new ideas, and he said, I'd like you to try these things. Early in the year, in first term, I went to an in-service at which Murray Everly was attending and also showing a video there.
Poor Gary. That kid was clearly digging the new teaching practices. Also, in both those interviews, the cutaway to the host looked a bit odd because he was facing the same direction as the guest. You're breaking the 180-degree rule. They should have just switched them around. See? Much better. Of course, then the responses wouldn't match the questions. This was genuinely interesting, though.
You've mentioned that most Australian states and the Northern Territory have adopted a cursive style of handwriting, but are there any differences at all?
Yes, there are. Just a few differences, Trevor. For instance, in Victoria, we use this type of B, which is a cursive open B, whereas in Queensland they've maintained this B. Now, we've found that in Victoria that there's less letter reversals with the BD problem by using this cursive B. Now, this other B, which has been used in Queensland, is quite a good letter. However, if you don't skillfully do that little skid movement here under the B, what can happen is when you're joining, the movement can go through the letter. Now, what we're trying to do is keep the centre range of the alphabet quite clear. So if we just come back to this word here, what we're doing is keeping looping into the heads and tails and keeping the centre range, the body of the letters, quite free for maximum readability and clarity.
Needless to say, all that is largely useless now because we type everything with computers. And of course, it wouldn't be an 80s TV show without a freeze frame into the closing credits.
Well, it's prettier than the old handwriting, so when you're using posters and things, it looks better on the posters. And if you're sort of more grown up, so that you feel like a baby doing the old handwriting.
The K's are real hard last year when we had the other writing, because you have to get the stick straight and everything, and the M's we always used to have troubles with, and we'd cheat and we'd turn the paper upside down and do W's.
Now on to program number 3, and it doesn't get much more 80s than this.
That was them? It was them.
Ooh, that's right, Miami Vice. This is a season 1 episode called Nobody Lives Forever, which aired on Channel 9 on Thursday the 27th of February 1986. The storyline involves a trio of absolutely batshit insane dudes going on a drug-fueled crime spree, knocking off nightclubs and hot dog stands, killing people and generally being very loud and annoying.
Quiet! Silly person.
Spot the future star in this diner scene.
Well, well, well. How you doing, guys?
No.
Beat it! Dad! The lunch truck you knocked over the other day was Morgan's.
Oh, it was really pretty righteous.
Any more bookies? You got any more?
That's right, it's Giancarlo Esposito, who would also go on to die in Breaking Bad. But as reckless and out of control as those bad guys are, the good guys aren't exactly brimming with competence either. Here are the two detectives, James Sonny Crockett and Ricardo Rico Tubbs, staking out the hot dog truck depot.
How many hot dog trucks has this guy Morgan got?
They're all out of the gate. Company. Morgan Security. We've been made. Damn.
Gee, you think? Sitting in a convertible with the top down in broad daylight directly opposite the front gate? Yeah, not conspicuous at all. How's this for situational awareness when Tubbs returns on his own the very next day and parks the same car in the same spot?
Yeah, way to go, Crockett.
They just walk right up to him. Tubbs doesn't even notice until they're literally standing next to the car. I suppose he was distracted because he was thinking about his absent partner, but come on. And despite being bashed in the head with a tire iron, he then shows up at Sonny's house. How is he even still alive after that? You know, in the real world, when someone assaults a cop, that tends to be the catalyst for the police to go arrest them and bust their illegal operation. But here on Miami Vice, they gather their resolve during a cinematic boat montage to the tunes of Heartbeat by Red 7, which I both genuinely love and find genuinely funny, especially the repeated inserts of Edward James Olmos. So once that's out of their system, they shoot all the bad guys just in time for a freeze frame into the credits, where we also get a taste of a homegrown 80s TV trope in the form of a Pete Smith voiceover.
Wanna go fishing? I'd rather go trolling.
Stand by now on 9 for the premiere of a brand new series, The Twilight Zone. Tuesday and Wednesday nights on 9 are loaded with laughs. For an hour from 7:30, it's top comedy with The Cosby Show and Benson. And Wednesday night, we'll really tickle your funny bone with two new light-hearted treats, Who's the Boss and Growing Pains. Be sure to bring your smile along Tuesday and Wednesday nights, here on 9.
Pete Smith, the only man on Australian television who pronounces all three syllables in the word Wednesday.
Wednesday nights on 9, Wednesday nights.
I did say there were 4 shows on this tape, but you'll have to stay right to the end for the last one. In the meantime, let's look at some ads.
Diet Cottees, you'll agree.
I agree.
I agree.
Tastes much better naturally.
I agree. I agree.
Diet drinks. I think Diet Cottee's cordials taste best. They're 25% real fruit juice.
I agree. And Diet Cottees is only 4 calories a serve.
Diet Cottees, you'll agree.
I agree.
We agree. Tastes much better naturally.
I think that's one of the dumbest ads I've ever seen.
I agree.
Although at least Cottee's cordial came in a decent-sized bottle back then. Compare that 1986 version with this thimble I'm not even going to pay for. But what if you prefer your fruit in a more solid state?
Here's a great dessert from SPC.
Ready, set, go, go, go. It's always ready. It's always set. So go, go, go for jelly fruit.
SPC jelly fruit. SPC peaches in mango jelly. SPC pears in passion fruit jelly. SPC peaches in orange jelly. Absolutely sensationally delicious.
It's always ready. It's always set. So go, go, go for jelly fruit. Ready, set, go for jelly fruit.
It's still got the shape of the can. Am I the only one who finds that oddly appealing?
Hey, give me a slice.
Speaking of styling things into strong geometric shapes.
Every now and then, a girl needs a change.
I think I need a change, a scent of healthy change, a scent of color change, a scent of natural change. 'Cause every girl is different and every now and then they need a change. Yes, they do. Scent of the change.
The change in you was brought to you by Cinta.
If every girl is different, wouldn't some of them not need a change? But what if you want to look like Peg Bundy or someone who works behind the rental car service desk at the airport?
Color, color confidence.
The Johnson & Johnson free personalised colour chart offer gives you complete colour confidence in matching your clothes and accessories, choosing just the right cosmetics to suit the subtle shades and tones that are exclusively you, whether you're golden blonde, pale blonde, redhead or brunette. There's a free colour chart just right for you, but hurry, the offer is limited. Details and order forms where you buy these Johnson & Johnson feminine hygiene products.
If they run out of those colour cards, I reckon you can still get them at Bunnings. But right now, a quick plug.
Now the next stage in high-tech spark plug development. Its name, Motorcraft High Therm. With copper core and a whole lot more, including an advanced U-shaped electrode and the ability to operate in wider extremes of temperature, so that in the inner space of your engine, a smooth surge of power will be yours to command. Motorcraft High Therm spark plugs for around the same price as ordinary plugs.
Of course, a spark plug wouldn't actually work in a vacuum unless it's one of those big industrial ones. Remember before every McDonald's was a soulless grey cube?
Mom, we'll have to go now.
I know.
It's the first day you've had to yourself in a whole lot of years. No messes to clean up and no games to dream up. No wiping little noses and tears. Boy, do we miss him, can't wait to kiss him.
Hi, Mom.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
I really missed you, Mom.
It's a good time for the great taste
But don't tell anybody, okay?
of McDonald's.
And that kid grew up to be Scott Morrison, who I think might be banned from McDonald's now. Do you respect the subtle harmony of natural cane?
When I'm after new decorating ideas, I go to my favourite overseas spot, David Wong, because it's always an inspiration. Sometimes it's the little touches, like this bird I picked up for a song, or a theme I create around, like the subtle harmony of natural cane. It could be something exquisitely ornate, or so simple I wonder why I've never thought of it before. It doesn't take a fortune to create something special, just an inspiration. From David Wong.
Ah yes, the subtle harmony of natural cane, unlike the artless chaos of supernatural cane. I've never watched that show. Here's a jaunty jingle.
Shade so nice, it'll make you look twice. It's a Gemini. Easy to park, so you look real smart. It's a Gemini. Easy on the gas, so you save more cash. It's a Gemini. And split rear seats that fold to the beat. It's a Gemini. It's a Gemini.
Holden Gemini?
It's a gem.
She sounds more like a Scorpio to me. I'm just kidding. Star signs are meaningless garbage, just like that Holden tagline. But now... Yes, can't do that anymore. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's start with a Channel 9 promo for one of their big movies of 1986. And a genuine warning, it contains Nazi imagery and two people being stabbed with blood spurting out. Yeah, in the promo. Let's have a look, shall we?
Friday at 8:30, the superb movie thriller Eye of the Needle.
Man, codename The Needle, also known as Henry Faber.
Donald Sutherland stars as the cold-blooded Nazi spy.
These planes are made out of plywood. And the man who took those photographs must know it.
A man torn between loyalty to his country and the love of an English girl.
He must not get back to Germany.
8:30 Friday on 9.
Catch him or kill him.
Eye of the Needle, brought to you by the State Bank.
Amazing. Someone at the State Bank actually thought it'd be good for business for people to see their logo next to a swastika. Possibly because it makes them look better by comparison? I don't know. Now, there are no winners on Can't Do That anymore, just various things you can't do anymore. However, if a brand made this next ad today, they would be absolutely crucified on social media. And not just because of the overacting boss voice.
Jones, what time do you call this then? Jones, your sales figures are very disappointing. Jones, where are those reports I asked you for? Jones, I think we should talk about your future.
At the end of the day, Mr. Jones' shirt is showing all the signs that it needs preen, because just one spray of preen by Mrs. Jones before the wash will remove all traces of Mr. Jones' boss. Preen. It removes all traces of "Good morning, Mr. Jones" every day.
Yeah, pretty sure history will judge that ad as perpetuating sexist gender stereotypes. Isn't that right, Judge History?
Guilty!
Also, just on this bit,
it removes all traces of "Good morning, Mr. Jones" every day.
Is Mr. Jones sleeping with his secretary?
Jones, I think we should talk about your future.
I think Mrs. Jones might like to do the same. Well, we're just about out of time, except for all the bonus stuff I put right at the end. So, to take us there, an ad for Swan Lager with a jingle that features the lyric, "In the game of beer," and sounds like it'd be the theme song to an Australian James Bond movie, which I assume would be titled The Game of Beer. 007, of course, being his blood alcohol level. Enjoy.
In the game of life, real life, you make it look easy, real easy. You make it look simple and gracefully smooth. Swan smooth in the game of beer. Swan smooth, we make it taste easy. Swan Lager, come lift it up. It's Australia's gold. Swan Lager smooth. If you could only have one, this would be the Swan Lager smooth. In the game of life, real life, we make it taste easy, real easy. Hey, you smoothie, taste it easy. Swan Lager smooth.
A little more tin.
That's too much. Just kidding. It's perfect.
Don't forget to bring your side-splitting resistant pants for the next hilarious episode of VHS Revue, as David once again delves into the exciting world of long-lost videotapes. Coming soon to an algorithm near you. Stand by now for fun in the kitchen.
Sanitarium Health Food. The people who believe food should not only taste good, it should be good for you, invite you to watch Fun in the Kitchen.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me for a bit of fun in the kitchen. Well, continuing on from last week, I'm presenting to you another recipe from Sanitarium, which I got from this lovely book. It's called The Vegetarian Cooking for Better Health from Sanitarium. It's a lovely book, and the recipe I'm about to show to you now, I got from this book. It's called a nutty peanut sauce. Now, when I was in Singapore, I used to love the satay type flavour, but this particular dish is made with a thing called nut meat. It's from Sanitarium.
Nut meat. If you thought it sounds tasty, just wait till you hear how to get it out of the can.
One little hint, when you open up the nut meat, open up both ends. You see, as I've done here, and you can push the meat through then. You cut the meat up into smaller chunks, and you add that to your pan.
Oh yes, you'll have nut meat coming out both ends by lunchtime. Let's see that again in slow motion.
Now, when I was in Singapore, I used to love the satay type flavour. But this particular dish is made with a thing called nut meat. It's from Sanitarium. One little hint, when you open up the nut meat, open up both ends. You see, as I've done here, and you can push the the meat through then, you cut the meat up into smaller chunks, and you add that to your pan.
We're being very silly. I admit I don't watch modern cooking shows, but I do know the only reason they exist is because of product placement. But I'm amazed at how much product placement they crammed into this 4-minute cooking segment from 1986, even peripheral stuff. So I'll leave you with a supercut of just the product placement, the way the advertisers intended. See you next time.
Sanitarium Health Food. The people who believe food should not only taste good, it should be good for you, invite you to watch Fun in the Kitchen.
Another recipe from Sanitarium, which I got from this lovely book. It's called The Vegetarian Cooking for Better Health from Sanitarium. And you can purchase this book for $6.95 at any Sanitarium outlet, or you can write to P.O. Box 40, Paran 3181, for an extra $2.50 for postage and handling. It's a lovely book, and the recipe I'm about to show to you now I got from this book. This particular dish is made with a thing called nut meat. It's from Sanitarium, and what you'll need is some Sanitarium peanut butter, the nut meat, which gives it a lovely flavour, the crushed nuts, once again from Sanitarium, some garlic powder. I use Hoyt's all the time. Add to it your nut meat, your 2 tablespoons of the Sanitarium peanut butter. When you open up the nut meat, open up both ends. You see, as I've done here, and you can push the meat through then. As a drink, I've made a punch. And once again, I'm featuring the grape juice. It's natural dark grape juice from Sanitarium as the base to my punch, and the Boone Spa. Now, this particular one here is called Tavern Special. It's a punch cordial. So being a cordial, you wouldn't add the whole bottle, just enough with some of the soft drinks. You can add the orange juice, if you like, from Sun Up, or the Boone Spa. Now, I've added the dry ginger ale and also the soda. Now, over the past few weeks, as you've seen, I've presented to you many different types of dining settings. This one you're about to see now is absolutely beautiful. Come and join me. I wasn't exaggerating, was I? These fine reproduction pieces come from W.M. Wood Carvings out at Mitcham. Their phone number, as you can see on the screen now, is 873-5944. They're on the right-hand side when you drive out to Mitcham on the Maroondah Highway, and they certainly are worth a drive out to see them. These pieces I'm showing you here aren't the only pieces you can get from W.M. Wood Carvings, of course. This beautiful cabinet behind me is just superb. The workmanship is absolutely first class. This table, by the way, does elongate and makes it more suitable for 8 up to 10 people, whatever. And the chairs, of course, they really are very nice. You can't appreciate them without sitting in them, believe me. Next week, I'm going to present to you another Sanitarium dish, and once again, it's a health dish. It's called pilaf rice with some cashews and raisins. Sounds nice, believe me, it will be. Now, the Sanitarium punch, don't forget, the base is the grape juice, and in goes with the Boone Spa, all right, in the punch bowl. Bye for now.
Sanitarium Health Food. Hope you enjoyed today's program.
This is a David M. Green production. Pete Smith speaking.